So, this might sound like a very odd statement. I understand even the title of this week's podcast, Leave the Young People Alone. But it's something I feel very passionate about. And so I wanted to explain it in the hopes that it would help you in your world, in your life, and with other people that you know. Leave the young people alone. This is something I've seen going on for a very long time, and it makes me so sad because we could do things so differently and so easily. I'm going to share a story with you, and this will best explain what I mean by leave the young people alone. There's a gas station in the area where I live, a Shell station, and at the Shell station, there's a young man that works there. Really, really nice guy, long hair, really sweet, and always very kind and respectful. A little while after he was working there, I noticed another young man working there, and he looked just like the first young man. So I thought either they're twins or they're brothers and they're close in age. And as it turns out, they are brothers. So over the months, when I would stop to get gasoline, I would talk to them because I love talking to people and just getting to know them. People are amazing. And so I thought they probably want to do something else besides work at the Shell station. And please understand what I mean by that. There's not anything wrong with working at the Shell station, but I happen to know the owner, and I think it's probably just not the best scenario for where these guys could be working or what they could be doing with their lives. So one day when I stopped to get gasoline, I asked the one brother, what is it he would really like to do? If he could do anything, had all the money and opportunity in the world, what would he want to do? And he said he would like to have a lawn maintenance business. And so I encouraged him and told him anything's possible. Of course, he could do that. And then after the conversation, I got gasoline. I started thinking about him more as time went past and his brother. And I thought how easy it would be for him and his brother to start their own lawn maintenance business and be able to leave the Shell station and have unlimited income. As time went on over the months, I asked him if he'd always lived in this same area, and he said no. And I asked him where he would like to live, and he said he and his wife would love to live at the beach, which is only a little bit more than an hour away from here. And I encouraged him about that also. And I thought about him and his brother more over the months, and I became sad because even though I would encourage him, when I would go in, either the brothers, I saw more over time that they looked more sad, more beaten down, and just trying to make the best of everything. And even sometimes they would say that to me after I paid for my gasoline or whatever I was getting at the convenience store. They would say something like, it's just how it is. And I thought, oh my gosh, it isn't just how it is. And we can help young people, any people, but especially the young people. We can help them to have their own businesses, to think outside of the box, to not feel like when they finish high school or college that all they can do is get a job and work at that job for 30 or 40 years and then retire and collect Social Security. I'm old enough and lived long enough to remember when we didn't all think that way, and we weren't asking our children to just go into the system. We weren't expecting that of young people. So leave the young people alone. I don't mean just leave them alone. I mean also help them. I'll explain to you something else that I see going on so much with young people, and you may think it's true, this is what we do, but it's not good for them. It's just not good for them. And this is what we do. When people are young, we ask them, one, continuously, what do they want to do when they grow up? And also, when they're finishing high school, what are they going to do next? Are they going to college, or what are they going to do? And although the obvious is we care about other people and we want them to have some kind of life plan that's meaningful to them, I don't think that is the outcome for most people that we ask that of. I think young people, if we could draw a consensus, feel like they don't really know what they want to do, but they have to come up with some kind of plan because they're being asked all the time. And so they come up with an answer and then they follow that through. I believe there is a much better way that we can be with young people and that we can have relationships with them that end up in them having a much happier life than they presently are. Another story is a young woman that I know, and her best friend went to college, graduated, hasn't been able to find meaningful work, so has jobs, but not a career, not anything she really wants to do. And in my conversations with her, she wanted to start a fashion business and has an idea for a brand. And again, it's such an easy thing to do. It really is. There's online platforms, and if there's ever been a time in the history of humanity when someone can start their own fashion business, this would be it, because obviously with all the online platforms, that's something simple and direct that can be done. But what gets in the way? What gets in the way of this young woman starting her own fashion business, or the two brothers starting a lawn maintenance business? It's not overhead, it's not money or connections that is needed, because with the internet and with the ability to even advertise for free for lawn maintenance or to sell used and revitalized clothing online, we have the internet. So it's not a difficult thing to do, even financially. But what it is that we are gearing our young people to just continue on in the system and to not think from the time that they are young, what do they want to really do, and help them to do that. You know, in grade school, young people are incredible. And if at that age they were given the encouragement and a little bit of guidance to start their own venture, by the time they went to high school, they would be well on their way to doing incredible things. And there are, of course, some young people, 18, 19, 20 years old, that started in their teens to work on a business idea. And by the time they're 18, 19, or 20, they've already produced great financial wealth and success and are adding to the good in the world. But those are the exceptions. That's not what is happening with most young people in this day and in this age. So, what's the solution? The solution is that we, with our own children and with other young people that we meet, we start to encourage them. We find out what it is they really want to do, and we help them on that journey. And even if you feel that you don't have financial resources, most of the time in life, finances will come. There's a way to be creative monetarily, and the finances will come. But what it is that young people don't have enough life experience yet to know how to start their own endeavor. And we that already have done things in our life, I really see it as a responsibility to younger people to help them and encourage them and practically be there. I mean, in a practical manner, be there for them and help them to start their own endeavors. Also, a lot of these young people would work with other young people, and they could work on businesses that would pull a whole community together. It really is something so simple, and we just have to change our posture toward young people and how we are helping them to create a future that they truly love. There's one more story I'm going to tell, one that's very sad. There's a woman in the area where I live, and she's 25 years old, and it was actually on her 25th birthday that this happened. There was something that was going on, and she didn't seem like she was okay, and she lives nearby, so I knocked on her door and checked to see if she was okay. And as it turned out, it was her 25th birthday, and she wasn't okay. She was really, really sad and really, really down. And after talking to her for a while and asking if I could give her a hug and wiping her tears away, I asked her this question. And the question is, what is it that she really wants to do? And the reason I asked her that is she said, and remember, she just turned 25 years old on that day. She's a precious, young, beautiful woman with the majority of her life in front of her. And at 25 years old, because she had gone to college and she was working at a job actually in the field in which she had received her degree, but nevertheless, what she said to me why she was so upset and why she was crying so much on her 25th birthday is she said she's never going to be able to do the things that she wants to do. And what she really wants to do is open up a mental health clinic and help other people to not go through some of the suffering that she's gone through. And how admirable is that? I mean, I wanted to just write her a check and find a building for her immediately. I wanted to do whatever I could to help her. But as much as I could do at that moment was console her and encourage her that she can do that and it can happen. I asked her if she had any family, and she said she did. And I asked her if she was close to them, and she said she was. And I thought, why aren't they helping her to fulfill her dreams? It doesn't take money most of the time. It really doesn't. It takes listening to young people, asking them what it is they want to do, and going alongside them to help them to make their dreams come true. So you might wonder why I feel so passionately about this, but it's because I look around and I see, as you do, everything that's going on in the world. And then I see these amazing people. And of course, it's not just young people, it's middle-aged people and older people and much older people that have dreams and hopes within them that they have not been able to live out yet. But the reason that I'm citing out young people, choosing to focus on them, is because we have so many young people now coming up in a system that they don't have any belief in, and understandably so, and yet we are not helping them to plan their futures other than in the system that's already not something that they believe in. Do you know what I mean? I hope what I'm saying makes sense to you, and that the stories that I'm sharing bring up situations and people that you've also seen that have incredible gifts, talents, and abilities, and all they need is someone to come alongside them. So I always believe in practical answers whenever possible. And so what would be an answer to this? If each of us just started where we are in our neighborhood, in our own family, with people that we know at our church or our synagogue or wherever we gather at ball games, and we just start talking with one another about promoting our young children in living out their dreams. And then we start with them when they're young, asking them what it is they want to do and help them to do that. Do you know how quickly we could change the world for the better? Imagine an entire generation of young people happy and fulfilled, doing creative endeavors, following their heart and living out their passion. And if you worry, well, who's going to fill all those jobs out there? I don't think we need to concern ourselves about that. And the reason is that societal change for the good is for the good. And maybe a lot of those jobs don't even need to be in existence, but they're only in existence because of the way things have been done for a very long time. I'm sure if you take a moment, or I think if you took a moment, and most likely you can think of someone you know that's younger, that's amazingly gifted and talented, and could do incredible things that you could help along in their life journey to be all that they dream of being. I hope today's message inspired you. I hope it helped you to think about the amazing young people that you know, whether they're in your family or in your community. And maybe you would want to take a few minutes to talk to some of the other people, some of your peers that could share in these ideas and help young people to create their own communities, to use their gifts, talents, and abilities, and to make the world into everything that they know and we know it can be. Thanks for listening. Have a beautiful week. God loves you, and I love you.